We are in the divided kingdom. Actually, lesson 12 today. We're halfway finished. Halfway through the quarter block. There's 23 classes this quarter, so this will get us halfway through. Kind of see where we are as far as the kings is concerned. We've used this chart a bunch of times already. Go through it one more time. Remember, keep in mind always that when we're looking at Judah, the kings of Judah, we're talking about the lineage of Christ. It's the lineage of David and the ancestors of Christ. It's David down through Christ. That king reigned down through there. We'll bring Jehoshaphat down. He's the one who's king in Judah at this time. Israel, Ahab had just died, and Ahaziah, his son, took over. Ahaziah fell through the roof. My last class was revealed that, and he has died. Jehoram, his brother, his son, his brother takes over for him. They have a sister, Athaliah. She's going to actually marry Jehoshaphat's son, Jehoram. So we're going to have a Jehoram king in Judah and Jehoram king in Israel at the same time coming up here. And then Athaliah's going to kill all of her grandkids except one, and she's going to be queen over in Judah. So a lot of complicated things coming up. I keep putting this chart up over and over because it does get so complex in this little area here. All right, a little review type stuff to catch us up here. Ahab reigned 22 years in Israel in the northern kingdom. Evil king, worse than anybody before him. Not just bad like Jeroboam, but worse and worse and worse and worse. The spiral goes down. With his wife Jezebel and all the Baal worship there. Ahaziah, his son, is taking over the reign for 2 years. And then he is going to fall from this upper chamber, lattice work, exactly how you read it, and injured, and he then sends a messenger out to find out from the prophets of Beelzebub whether he recovered or not. And Elijah meets him and says, "Come back and tell him why you're seeking the word from there." It's not a prophet. Lord, you can ask here, and send the word back to him. If you want to die, you can go off your bed, your deathbed. And he does. He has no son, so his brother Jehoram takes over as king. He's the son of Ahab and Jezebel also. He's now king in his place. So Ahab, his son Ahaziah, and his other son Jehoram is now reigning in Israel. So Jehoshaphat is still king down in Judah. Jehoshaphat's a good king. Following his father Asa, 41 years of a good king, and 25 more years, Jehoshaphat is a good king. So things are going quite well in Judah, not so good in Israel, of course. And it seems like maybe about this time, Jehoram, Jehoshaphat's son, maybe reigning with him. Go read some time set up here. There's some hint of that going on here. So if that's true, we got Jehoram and Jehoram both can get the throne here. So leaving the kingdoms there a little bit, we got Elijah and Elisha. Elijah's about to be taken back up, taken into heaven in the whirlwind. He asked Elisha, "What can I do for you before I'm taken away?" He asked him to go forth in the spirit. And as they're walking together, going across the Jordan to the east side, they're separated by a chariot and horses of fire. And Elijah's taken up to heaven in the whirlwind. Elisha then go back and pick up the work that he's been with his mentor doing. So here's what our kings look like now. Jehoshaphat, Judah, Jehoram is in Israel. You've got to have to allow the same chart I've shown you there several times there. So the Moabites now, Jehoshaphat and Jehoram are actual kings right now. So moving into today, we're in 2 Kings chapter 3. We have that one chapter. It's a short narrative today. It's just this one chapter today. So 2 Kings chapter 3. All right, this is not a real clear map. It really shows what we need to see here quite well. All right, Israel, the orange up here. Samaria's right at the very top up there, the capital. Judah, down here, with Jerusalem as capital. And then the others we got to look at today are Moab, over here, opposite the Dead Sea from Judah, and Edom down here. You know the Moabites, the Ammonites are, some of Lot. Edom, the followers of Esau, descendants of Esau, which will be very, all these people related here to Abraham. So we're going to have Judah and Israel come together to go and pick it up. Edom and go to war against Moab. That's what we see all that out. Israel, Judah, Edom, go to war. Okay. Ahab had Moab under subjection. When he died, they started rebelling against Israel and the son that was taken over there. And if you look, there's 100,000 lambs and 100,000 bulls, 100,000 sheep around every year that have to get to them up there. So cut that income off coming into the kingdom would be quite a blow there. So they rebelled against them, and so Ammon and Israel, Ammon and Moab and Mount Seir. See, Mount Seir, that's talking about Edom. So they've all come together against Judah. We're going to have that a little bit. So that Jehoram wants to go back. Jehoram and Israel wants to go back and take Moab and get them back under subjection to it. So to do that, Jehoram, king of Israel, asked Jehoshaphat, king in Judah, to go with him to war. So we got Jehoram in Israel, Jehoshaphat in Judah, that are going to go to war against Moab because they have rebelled against Israel. I'm going to get the best of it. Don't forget, this is not the first time something like this has happened. Earlier, when Ahab wanted to go back and take the city of Gilead, he got Jehoshaphat to go to war with him. The war when prophets Baal said, "Yeah, go, you win," and they called in the prophet from the Lord. He said, "No, you won't go, you won't come back." That's the battle where Ahab got killed. It's not the first time they've been together in battle here. So, since Moab had also been fighting against Judah, this is not a hard decision for Jehoshaphat to make because Moab's been giving him trouble. So now he's going to team up with Israel, Jehoram, and Judah, and they'll go together and fight against Moab. So Jehoram sends the messengers out to Jehoshaphat, and think about where it is again. Moab is right directly across the Dead Sea. So to go from Judah across to Moab, you've got to go around the north end of the Dead Sea or around the south end of the Dead Sea. You just go straight across there. So Jehoram says, "Okay, which way are we going to go?" Jehoshaphat says, "We're going around the south side." So he had to come down then. Israel ran their army down through Judah as they get ready to go around the south side and fight against Moab. Now, Edom, which is on the very southern tip down there, we'll see that about in a minute. It's right on the way, so as they go down, Israel picks up Judah, and the two go together and pick up the king of Edom. And now we've got three kings going up against Moab. So, here we go. So we got Israel up here, Jehoram coming down with Jehoshaphat here, and they go around and down around the Dead Sea. They're going to pick up the Edomites. That king, and got 1, 2, 3 kings going up and fight against the king of Moab. That's kind of where we are. So, Jehoshaphat said, "You come down and meet me to go around the south of the Dead Sea." Area down there is very, very, very dry. So you can imagine what it's like with a couple of armies coming down, all their people, all their animals, and they got to have water. Look at that, it's dry land down here, and after marching for 7 days without water, they come up and said, "The Lord bring us out here," and the Lord's having put us out because we have the water to drink. All this. So they start looking at what we're going to do. So somebody, one of the messengers, comes in and says, "Elisha is here." Elijah's the prophet now is taking over for Elijah. So Elisha's here. So the three kings, the king of Israel, Jehoram, the king of Judah, Jehoshaphat, and the king of Edom go up to talk to Elisha. Elisha doesn't react real well to this. In fact, he pretty much tells Jehoram, go away. I don't want to talk to you. Go back and talk to the prophets of your mama and your daddy. Go back to the prophets of Baal, prophets of Ahab and Jezebel that he used. What are you coming to see me for? And that's kind of the way it's been in Israel all this time. All these times they've gone to the prophets of Baal, and Elijah's been there trying to turn around, show them many times through the battles and things that God was still there, God was still wanted them back, but they refused it. So when it comes to Elisha, he says, horrible. I don't want to talk to you. Go away. But he says, because of Jehoshaphat, because of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, is a good king, I will talk to you. I will see what the Lord has to say about this. So we'll talk about this more in the class in a little bit. You got two kings worshiping idols, Edomites and Israelites. You got Judah, the influence of Jehoshaphat. Elisha agrees them to seek God's information for him. So he calls for a musician, a workers to come in. And when he plays, the Lord tells him what's going on and what's going to happen. And here's the answer. Nothing but water. Very, very dry land, keep that in mind. Basically, God tells him these dry creek beds, these dry river beds, where water would rain, would run, when the rains came, they're going to be filled with water. But there'll be no wind, there'll be no rain, there'll be no clouds, there'll be nowhere for water to come from. There's water going to be there. You get up tomorrow, water will be in these dry creek beds. Still good. But there'll be no sign from the creek. That's the miracle there. But says the Lord, you'll not see wind, not see rain, the valley will be filled with water. You create your animals and cattle. So that's the message that the Lord gives about the water. But he adds, in other ways, at least a second thing for the Lord. Why would it not be? I'm reminded of Jesus in the New Testament when he stilled the storm. Why would he not still a storm? Why would he not have the power to still a storm? Who made all the elements of nature anyhow? No idea. Jesus was there with him at the creation. We know that. So for God to do this, or for Jesus to still the storm, this is a simple matter of solve the Lord. It's no big deal to handle this. But he said also, he's going to deliver you out of the hands of the Lord. Go win the battle. You three kings, you're going to win the battle. That's the second part of the message that Elisha gave them there. It also tells them some very specific things to do the way when you get there. So when you get there, you can take rocks and you can put them in every good field. Put stones out there. Essentially, we're big good for plowing or big good for crops. Put down every good tree, fill every spring with water, and it's essentially going to ruin the land. When you get there and you attack them, these are things you're supposed to do specifically when you get there is ruin the land of Moab. That's the instructions. Now, water, win the battle, you get there, what you're supposed to do. So, when they get up, guess what? All the ditches are full of water. Just like God said to Elisha's drum. Now, Moab army gets up. And these dry creek beds, the water would run normally. There's been no rain. They see this reflection of the light coming off the sun, and they think they're full of blood. Not water. They see. So they think, oh, these these armies all got mad at one another and killed one another. This is the blood running out from the top. This is the greatest battle. That would be the first time I say that happened here. The other battles when armies turned against each other and had war among themselves. So that happened here too. So that's what the Moabite army says. So they come in, okay, if they've all had war against each other and kill each other and have all this big blood running through here, let's get the spoils. So Moab takes in and heads in where the camps are here. They're going in thinking everybody's dead. So let's talk about that. So they come in and take the spoils of the land, and the three armies get up and they attack them and they rout the Moabites. It's like Elijah said. So they go into the cities and start destroying the cities. These men take the stone and throw it in the field, and they go out there, cut down the big trees, and they fill the springs up, and they ruin the land just like Elijah told them to. That's that part. That's that part. King of Moab takes 700 soldiers, tries to break through the line to get out. Can't do it. So he gets in the city, and the different commentators read different ways exactly how this came about based on the actual original language and what comes through with it. But it appears as though he took his eldest son, who would have been king in his place, and he gets the wall some way so that the armies kept around the city, the Israelite armies, can't see what's going on. And he sacrifices his eldest son to their gods, trying to appease them and to defeat the armies that had captivity. In verse 27, last verse of the chapter here, took his eldest son and would reign in his place, offered his burnt offering on the wall. And in the next sentence here, there was great indignation against Israel. I tried to look and get a good definition. What does that really, what that phrase there really mean? And I got different readings based on different writers talking about it. Whether the indignation that Moab had against Israel, whether it was the Lord against Israel for driving it so hard, the king would come in and actually do that and sacrifice his son. Or did the Israelite army itself see what they had done and how far they had pushed it? You know, God had told them to, God had told them what to do through Elisha as far as putting in the land and cut down the trees. So they had a little confusion with me exactly what that phrase means and who had the indignation against him for that. But it was not a good scene when the king of Moab goes and takes his son. And so the last sentence there says oh yes, yes, and that's why that phrase comes in to be so confusing there, because that was a very, very disturbing law. Don't tell me see it happening like that. They offer their children to our gods and things like this. But did this, and some commentators would think and say, well, you're pushing too far and going to this. They should not have done that. I have a little bit hard time with that because they were essentially going in and destroying the land like God told them to. Just part of their normal worship. They think they the only way to appease their gods and then just offer their son like that for sacrifice. Was God displeased with the Israelites for pushing this far? Oh, I don't think so. They had done what they told them to. So, but then the whole thing is not fair to us. It's not fair. Definitely no doubt about that. What Scott's saying, those of us who are son here, Lot was a righteous man. Lot makes some very, very bad decisions. Lot makes a decision, got his family into major trouble. That's where these descendants came from. Where Moabites and Ammonites came from. It's from Lot and the incest of his daughters with him. And so, as the congregation has gone so far down, where offering their children to the people of Moab was nothing. They was progressively spiraled down into that. And Scott's point is that decisions made by us would have long-term effects. Things we do, decisions we make, may affect our families or future generations. Okay, what else? Awesome. Okay, as usual, things like to talk about. And first, we talked about before, this is what we'll talk about again. Go back to verse 11 in this chapter, where the armies have come together, and Jehoshaphat says, "Is there not a prophet or a Lord who may inspire him to battle?" That's the same thing Jehoshaphat did when he was teamed up with Ahab to go to battle against Syria to try to reclaim Syria and kill him. Jehoshaphat wanted to know what the Lord had to say about it. Now, I kind of think just going through it. Who's with Jehoshaphat? There's two idol-worshiping kings. You think they care what the Lord has to say about anything? Not really. Okay. So, Jehoshaphat, and what I'm going to get to here, is standing up for what's right when we're outnumbered. Jehoshaphat's here with two idol-worshiping kings, and when the Jehoshaphat speak up and say, "I don't know what the Lord says about this." Okay. What's God saying? That's what matters to me. And I'm bold enough that I can speak up here for these two kings that hear a message Jehovah was, and even so crossed with Elisha, that when they come before Elisha, Elisha says, "I want to talk to you." That's not very well for this world. Their weakness in Israel. Jehoshaphat stands up and what's right. And there's lots of other things we think about along the same line. Think about Noah. Noah lived in a world that described how in the first part of Genesis 6. Totally wicked. And Noah's called a preacher of righteousness. It is totally ungodly world in it. Feel his heart. Stand up for what God told you to do. Think about Noah. What do you think about Daniel? Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Think about this gold statue that the king Nebuchadnezzar has built. And when the music sounds, what's everybody supposed to do? Everybody bows down to this golden image of Nebuchadnezzar. It's built. And the music starts. You can see everybody bowing down. And these three people stand up. Stand out in the crowd. Stand up. And Nebuchadnezzar comes to him and says, "Is it true? Is it true that you don't serve my gods? You don't bow out of my image?" And he says, "We're going to play music again. We'll give another chance, though. We'll play music again. And the fire furnace is here." And they said, "Play the music. Keep the furnace up. We don't serve your gods. We're not worship those gods." A bit different. stand up for what's right. Jump over to the New Testament. Acts chapter 4. Peter and John are in prison. What are they told? Don't preach this stuff about Jesus anymore. Don't do it. And they said, that's what you said. We're going to do what's right. We're going to talk about the thing we see here. What Jesus' mission to them? Go preach, right? What's Peter and John say they're going to do? There's a prison. Do what you have to do. No matter. We're going to do it. Do what's right. Let's stand up and fight sometimes. But take our belief, our faith strong enough. We're facing situations where we're the odd person. We're the one that has to step up and say, yes, this is right. Or, no, this is not right. We have the boldness to do that. Beyond the circumstances. It kind of comes down to the same verse here. Matthew chapter 5. Let the light shine. You can turn it off, turn it on when you want to. You can. You should. I should. All right. Another thought. I get it from this. By asking God. John's family wanted to know what God said, what the talk to the prophet of God, the power of the Lord. Not only is he standing up in the middle of this 200 schemes, he wants to know what God said about it. But God tells us to ask. If you want something from him, ask. Don't look at it as a far-off being that's beyond our reach out there somewhere. He appeared to Solomon before he made kings. And what can I do for you? Ask, and I'll give it to you. Ask me. Martha, the death of Lazarus, talking to Jesus. Of course, one of them that had been there before Lazarus died. And she tells Jesus, says, talk to God. He said, whatever you ask for, he'll give you. Ask. Ask. Then those passages in James chapter 1, very familiar with that. If you lack wisdom, let him ask of God. He gives all that liberty. Ask in faith. No doubt. That's the part that gets us sometimes. We've got two things. The one, we've got to ask. Two, we've got to do it. Believing God can do it. Ask in faith. Jesus tells his disciples in John 14, says, what do you ask in my name? It's the next two words. God, I will do it. They go back and look at a couple of examples of kind of where this happened. Think about Hannah, which in the temple praying, and Eli saw her, and she was asking for a son. And I'll dedicate it back to you, but give me a son. She asked. The Lord asked for something. Nehemiah. Nehemiah chapter 1. I'll read it. Chapter verse 4 here. Where's Nehemiah? Came to pass the month of Chislev, 20th year, I was in Shushan, the citadel. Hananiah, my brother, came the men from Judah, and I asked them concerning the Jews who escaped and survived the captivity concerning Jerusalem. They said to me, the survivors who are left in the captivity and the prophets that are there in great distress and reproach. The walls of Jerusalem broken down, and its gates are burned with fire. The word got back to Nehemiah, who's still up in Babylon, about the situation back in Jerusalem. And it says, Nehemiah says, well, I heard these words, I wept. I said, I didn't cry. Because the situation back in Jerusalem was so bad. I said, the next thing he did was what? Pray to God about it. Looking for a solution. Nehemiah's told me that where they back to Jerusalem. rest of that. Pray, Lord God, great, awesome God. God, this is not the first service. Please let your ears and your eyes open. Hear the prayer of your servant. All these people are asking God things. That's what God wants us to do. Hezekiah was sick, about to die. But he asked God for him. That's time. 50 more years on his heart. We talk about this verse quite a bit in our book. Effective, fervent prayer of righteousness. Don't forget to ask. Got a problem? Need help? God. We got one more jacket here. This is the as I go through these chapters, I mentioned before, a lot of times I'm my earbuds on the treadmill. And each time you read through a chapter or listening to it being read, sometimes a phrase will catch you. As I've listed this, just chapter 3, where we are here, verse 20. Phrase is used in the morning about the time when the offering was being made. The version says. The other says that about the time of the offering of the sacrifice, the great sacrifice. If you look at that a little bit. Again, there's different thoughts about exactly what was going on. The army's out in the field of battle. It's early in the morning, sunrise. It's the time that the priests back in Jerusalem were making morning sacrifices. It's that time. They set time. I think we took a passage in a minute that mentions the evening sacrifices. Elijah talked about that. So there's a set time for the morning sacrifice, the evening sacrifice. It seemed they like stopping to turn themselves toward Jerusalem and think about what's going on back in my point is, there's a specific time. Here goes my problem. I was going to work every day, and I would go through the Tanner traffic light. Through the Tanner traffic light, and if I get up and down Causeway, across the river, got 10 minutes of time there, and traffic's usually pretty calm. It's just a straight stretch of traffic. And that was my time. When I got to work, when I got my day started good, Dad, I got my prayer time. Bill and I talked about this before. Now that I'm not, some of these old folks in here retired, I'll get to work every day like that. I'll go past that traffic. I'm click down on this. I'm having a hard time getting my life readjusted and figuring out, okay, what is my time? Where do I set aside that time for my prayer time, for my meditation, my fault time? And this little phrase caught me with that. It said, there's a time for a sacrifice they have. And you go all over, there's some others that are not horrible. At the end of the day, there came time for evening sacrifices. Elijah was talking about it. And think like Daniel, 3 times a day, he had a specific time, 3 times a day, Daniel looked back toward Jerusalem. That was his custom. I don't know what y'all know how this is going on, but there's another thing about it. Where they had their specific time that God had told them to make their sacrifices. We don't have that. Because our intercessors there, our high priests there all the time. So it's not morning sacrifice, evening sacrifice. The only important thing about here is the problem I'm going to deal with. No problem, you don't have this problem. And it's to find that specific time in my life. This is my prayer time. my life 15. Not yours. That phrase has caught my attention. Okay, thoughts, everybody? There's the kings up here again. You got them all in your mind. You got them over here. I don't even have it. What's the best 13? As far as scriptures concerned. We'll get back into 2 Chronicles next time. So look at your sheets. 2 Chronicles 20, 21, and the book of Obadiah. We'll play it next time. So, how the king of Chronicles. Okay, thanks very much.